Now, welcome back. A group of professionals will over the weekend gather in a conference to hold a public conversation about Eskom. Now, organisers of the conference say that representatives will come from different structures at different parts of society, including the business sector, the energy industry professionals, as well as other interested parties. The purpose is to bring stakeholders together to try and find an alternative plan for the South African society. And just this week, a civil rights organization, the Afriforum, outlined their energy plan, announcing the first phase of the organization's three-phase plan to help solve the energy crisis in the country. Now, joining us via Zoom, we have Phikolomzi Adonis, and he's the coordinator of the upcoming conference on Eskom. And I believe we've just lost that link to Phikolomzi. And not surprising, because as you know, with the lights being off, stage 5, anything can happen. And I can see some movement out of the corner of my eye, but I'm not sure. We're going to try and resolve all of that. But we, of course, will also be joined by Hlathi Madela, who is the Executive Director of the South African Energy Forum. So we're hoping to have this discussion with Phikolomzi and Hlathi just to see what is exactly planned for this weekend. And I believe we have one of them who is there for us right now, and I'm just trying to see who it is. Phikolomzi Adonis is there, so let's speak to him for the time being. Phikolomzi, thanks so much for joining us. Welcome to Morning Live. All right, Phikolomzi is there. Our apologies for the technical glitches that we are currently trying to resolve. But Phikolomzi, let's try again. If you can hear me, good morning.
Good morning, Sakina. Good morning to your viewers at home.
Thank you so much for joining us. And, you know, it's such an interesting conversation at this point, because it seems as though everybody is talking about Eskom and everybody seemingly has some form of a solution. So what spurred into action this conference that you will be hosting this weekend?
Thank you very much, Sakina, for that question. I think we need to understand that the biggest question we have as citizens is, when is the load shedding going to end? I think that's the biggest question we all want to answer. We are looking forward to a conference this weekend, Sakina, on the basis that we had been waiting for government to give us a plan, we as citizens, as to when this thing is going to happen. You'll remember it is making our lives very miserable. However, when we gathered into all our socials, we came up with this idea together with some energy professionals. Our main objective is to say, now that we have this load shedding, into what extent is the problem, and what alternative solutions do we have? At what cost? And what are the timeframes that we are looking up to? Because the government did not bring us forth such information. Remember, President in 2022 had formed a committee, National Crisis Energy Committee, where they were given some terms of reference in terms of looking deep into this problem. But we only got a report on that committee only on the 19th of January. And it was because of the cries of the people during stage 6. And even the president canceled his trip to Davos on the basis that he wants to attend to this matter. At that time, we had already planned as professionals, energy experts, that we are meeting in Joburg this Saturday, so that we can collaborate with many South Africans to have our alternative plans as the government, as the citizens, so that we can propose it and influence the government, and also we can rally people behind that type of a solution. Yes, we know people are despondent. We cannot be marching every day without an alternative solution. So that's what we are trying to do, Sakina.
So let me ask this, Pigo. So we've been grappling with this crisis for quite a while now. Why is it that you were unable to bring these solutions to the fore prior to now? What has been the stumbling block to that?
No, Sakina, we hadn't trusted government and Eskom in this in solving this problem. Remember, I'm an ordinary citizen. I'm not an expert in energy, but there are experts out there. The initiative comes as a result of that we have been waiting for long under a dark tunnel. We cannot see the light after the tunnel. The initiative started by saying, look, the government seems not to have a plan yet. As citizens, we must make means as to gather. That conference seeks to gather people with this expertise. And then, as you know, that Hlathi have got the proposals, but they come in silos in your interviews, and they also being interviewed individually. So we have tasked ourselves that the likes of Hlathi and other energy experts, let them come under one roof, where we're going to draw an alternative plan on behalf of citizens, so that when we do these marches, when we have these interviews, at least we must be singing from a same hymn book of saying, this is the extent at which the problem is at Eskom. It needs so much money, it needs so much resources, but if that cannot happen, who is going to do it? Because we've been waiting for government to do that. The only thing we know and we see is the cancellation of trips by the president now and again. Remember, there's also the issue of tariff hikes, Sakina, that are coming in April, proposed approved by NERSA. So now as citizens, we are just complaining and complacent and despondent. So we cannot take any time longer. We need load shedding to come to an end. Remember, we've been conditioned that for 2 years we must be aware, or we must know that load shedding is going to be with us. For stage 3 and stage 2, we must just accept as citizens. No, we can't do that, Sakina. We can't just accept. We must do something.
I hate to break it to you, Pico, but we have been accepting. But Hlathi, let me bring you into the conversation. So right now, it seems that everybody has a solution to what has been going on with regard to the energy crisis. We saw the DA, they were marching. They had a press briefing about some of the solutions they think they have. We saw Afriforum holding their own press briefing, coming up with the solutions they think they have. We saw the ANC yesterday also coming up with a presentation of where they think the solution may lie to this. In addition to that, you also have the National Energy Crisis Committee that was set up, among other things. So suddenly, there seems to be solutions all over the show. Who should we be listening to here?
Good morning to you, Sakina, and good morning to my colleague, Phikolomzi. We've come up with this conference as a 2-day conference because we believe that when a family member is in a critical condition in the ICU, there's a hospital, there's machines, there's everything, but we all have to listen to the specialist and listen to the doctor. What kind of diagnosis is required, and harbor any hope that our family member will come out alive. It's a question of resources. Eskom is in that situation. Everybody speaks, government speak, but the power station managers, the men and women who know, have never spoken throughout all this period. Government gave us a hope of 18 months every now and then. Even the outgoing CEO, he asked for 18 months, is 3 years on the job. But we've never had men and women who are specialists like that doctor in that ICU room to say, these are the resources that are going to be required. Your family member will return home alive. So we know there's a solution, and the solution does not necessarily lie with us, but it lies with the men and women who are called power station managers. Unfortunately, there are major decisions that have to be taken. And unfortunately, some of those decisions, they place these politicians in the prison. We are here now to organize ourselves to say, men and women in the street, let us all be solution driven. Let us tell you what exactly this is. So the conference is not just a 2-day conference, it's a 2-day conference that is going to resolve that we have a permanent structure that we call an energy dialogue for the country, where we are going to tell you about coal contracts, we're going to tell you which power station manager has been empowered, what decisions have not been taken. So this is not a solution by us, but this is us enabling the people who actually have a solution to implement that solution. Just to give an example, if we already had this structure already functioning, we could be writing a document and telling you that Gwede Mantashe has located the program and he has come up with a solution, but he must be allowed to implement it, which is the power ship. He must just withdraw doing it by a tender. If Mantashe implements the power ships today, there will be no load shedding in this. There will be no load shedding in this country from July ever again. You will never see load shedding. It's one unique solution that he has come out very, very late, but it's still a solution. Why is he not allowed to implement it? This particular conference and the consultant and the professionals around it will be highlighting those decisions to South Africans to say, these are the kinds of decisions that have been taken. Coal procurement conference and all of that.
But Hlathi, you know that there is some legal wrangling around the car power ship tender situation. You know that has been taken to court. Also, another question around that has been the fact that this would be a 20-year contract. Why 20 years? What does that say about the ability to find other solutions to stabilize the grid in the meantime?
100%, Sakina. What was taken to court was the way they went about the procurement. By the way, the minister won that case in court. What is delaying this now is an environmental approval. So we are now saying, government and whoever, don't procure these power ships through using third parties. Procure it using me, Sakina, Phikolomzi, and the citizens of South Africa. Get Eskom and the DMRE to procure this couple power ship, no tender, none whatsoever. Even the procurement of the liquefied natural gas, let that be procured by Eskom. In that way, it will eliminate corruption. It will be a decent solution that is procured by government. So this particular conference, we seek to tell the government, stop advertising this thing for the tender, get the people inside Eskom to procure this power ship, no tender. The solution of 24 months, we need it now. And therefore, there's capable people inside. So that's what we are seeking to resolve.
Well, unfortunately, we are out of time, and I'm loath because we unfortunately did struggle to get the conversation underway initially due to technical problems. But of course, this conversation will take place this weekend, and Hlathi Madela, the Executive Director of the South African Energy Forum, and Phikolomzi Adonis, Coordinator of the upcoming conference on Eskom, they were speaking to us there. The purpose of the event is, of course, to bring an alternative plan as society at large and energy professionals beyond the pickets, beyond the marches and conversations that we've had so far.